Well, it feels like our excitement for opening day almost every single year without fail is quickly brought back down to earth by lingering summer weather. And that's exactly what the case is this year. It's September 15th, opening day for woodcock and grouse season. And the last couple weeks has been really nice weather. At the end of August, we had, a hint of fall come into the area, and we had overcast skies, 60, 65-degree days out. Picture perfect days for what you would want on early season hunts. But it seems like it always happens. Opening day comes around and summer says, I've got one last go for you. And it's 80, 85, 90 degrees out. And that's exactly what happened this year. Today it's touching 80 degrees. Tomorrow, the next few days, it's supposed to be in the mid 80s. And I'm not sure when this weather's going to clear out. But nonetheless, we're up here. I'm excited, ready to go hunting. It's the afternoon right now. I'm getting ready to go out. I did go out this morning. I hunted a new spot, new area to me. Was kind of familiar with the area, but the spot that I went into and hunted, I hadn't been to before. I took a chance on it, and it was one of those spots that on paper, on the map, it looked good. And I couldn't quite get all the way into the area with my vehicle, so I couldn't exactly see what it looked like from the eyeball test. I had to go in on foot, and I decided to go in there opening morning this morning and give it a shot. And once I got in there, I could already tell it just wasn't quite what I was hoping it was going to be. Needless to say, we didn't move any birds there this morning, but that's the gamble we take sometimes when we're going in and trying to find new spots to hunt. But this afternoon, I've came up to a spot that I'm familiar with, and I'm getting ready to go out this evening and hunt. Hopefully it cools down here a little bit because, like I said, it's pushing 80 degrees. It's not a deal breaker, but it is weather to be cautious of, especially with dogs getting overheated. The sun's out fully today, and when that sun's out, it feels like it's 90 degrees, not just 80. So I'm just trying to see if it's going to cool down just a little bit here before dusk and go ahead and give it a go. And I'm going to go into a spot that has a couple different age class aspen cuts in it. A lot of different habitat in here. I've had good success in this area before. But I've never hunted it this early in the season. But I do think there's going to be birds in here. There's a kind of a low, dried up creek bed that runs between two aspen cuts here, and that's where I'm going to start off at this afternoon. I'm going to go in there, see if there's any birds hunkered down in that lower shadowy area and some cooler ground and getting out of this heat. There's some oaks that are dropping, red oaks in the area, so I know that little corridor is filled with oaks, and there's also some hawthorn in there and a lot of different vegetation and greens this time of year that's growing up for food for birds right now. So that's kind of my game plan. I'm going to go circle through there, give it a short little brief run this evening and see what we come across. Before my walk this afternoon and evening, I want to take just a real quick moment here to talk about my choke tube setup and the shot size that I'm shooting for this time of year. I do have a Weatherby Orion 20 gauge side-by-side, and the choke tubes I'm going to shoot this early in the season is a skeet and an improved cylinder, and I'm going to shoot 7.5s or 8s. I've got a mix of both, and that's the setup that I like shooting this early in the season. The idea behind it is that I have really open choke tubes, and so I get a wide spread pattern with all this foliage right now, and the smaller shot size, what I'm trying to do is pack as much shot into that wide spread as I possibly can. I usually have pretty good success at hitting birds through thick foliage this time of year and connecting on shots with that setup, so that's what I like shooting early in the season this time of year when the foliage is all up and it's like a jungle out there right now. Later in the year I do switch my choke tubes up a little bit in my shot, just kind of depending on what the foliage is like and what the birds are doing, but I'm going to talk about that later in the year when we get to that point. But for right now, like I said, open chokes, a skeet and an improved cylinder, and small shots, 7.5s and 8s. So trying to get a wide pattern and pack as much shot into that pattern as I possibly can. You ready? Ember. So this is the creek bed that I was talking about earlier. Usually there's not any water in it, but there's some tag alders that run through it a little bit. There's some hawthorn. Here's a hawthorn right here. This one doesn't look like it has any fruit on it. but I have seen other ones with fruit on it in the area. It is just dark and cool down here, so hopefully we'll come across something hanging out in here. Well, this is what I'm in here for. This whole area, this is just older timber, but inside of it, I mean, there's just, I don't even know where to start. It's just a sea of hawthorn in here. And it's got a really good second growth canopy to it. We've moved 2 birds down this strip, but this is where it starts getting really good. I've seen some hawthorn along the way, but none of them have had fruit on it until I've gotten into this section of it here, and it's just everywhere. Some of it isn't quite ready yet, but there is quite a bit that's ripened and already fallen on the ground too. As you can see, like that right there. So, theoretically, there should be birds. Yep, I just heard a bird take off. Should be birds in here, and there is birds. It's just so dang calm and still tonight. And I always feel like my first time back in the grouse woods. And I'm just like a bull in a china shop moving through all this stuff. I gotta get my woods legs back to me. What's nice about spots like this too is if you get the right bird in the right spot, you can get good shooting opportunities. As you can see, it's thick, but it's not just massive stem density where there's just branches everywhere. So if you can get a look at a bird, usually you can get a fairly good look. Yesterday evening's hunt turned out to be pretty uneventful. We did end up moving 4 grouse, but they all jumped out in front of us flushed wild. So there's a few birds in this area, and I'm gonna hunt it again this morning, except I'm gonna hunt it a little different this morning. I'm gonna work some of the road edges and trail edges this morning where there's some gravel, see if I can find some birds out picking up grit this morning before they feed. Last night I hunted the timber in the food source, and there were some birds in there, just couldn't get shots. So there's a couple different age class cuts around here that run down this road that I'm gonna walk. It's pretty foggy this morning actually, but it is cool. It feels really nice out. It's like 45 degrees. So hopefully some of this fog burns off as the sun rises here, and I'm gonna get a dog out and see what we find this morning. Hopefully we can have some action. Yeti. I've been working down this road edge, trail, whatever you want to call it. We just came into an area where on the left side here, it's a age class cut that's just coming into its prime age. I don't know exactly how old it is. I'd probably guess 8 years old. And then on my right hand side here is just some mature timber. There's a lot of food mixed into that timber as well. There's hawthorn, a lot of raspberry on the side here. I've seen some wild grapes and raisins as well. The Yeti dove into the cover here, made a cast in here, and he ended up on point. So I'm gonna try and bust through this cover a little bit, make my way to him, see if he's got something. This, what's in front of me, this cut, this is like prime stuff for woodcock. Right here, Yeti's locked up. He is right there. And just as I was raising up on it, my gun caught on that branch right there. And I did some tree trimming. There's my prize trophy right here. Well, Yeti went on point again. It's right in here. There he is. That was a woodcock. And I whiffed on that one too. There he is right there. He's looking from my left to my right. It's a woodcock. I think I was just behind it though. Well, after that last walk, it got pretty hot out for the day, really fast. And that heat stayed through the rest of the day, almost till dusk, and was just over 80 degrees, and I elected not to hunt last night just because it's so warm and dry right now. We could use some rain as well. We had rain all summer long, all through August, and then as soon as September hit, it's been really dry, and the woods are drying up really quick because of it. So I hope at some point here we get some rain, because like I said, it's just been really dry, and it was so warm and dry yesterday. I just decided not to hunt and wait until the morning, because that's when there's more moisture and cooler temps, and that's when we've got our best opportunities right now. So it's the following morning, and I'm getting ready to go out today. I'm going to take Fox out, see what we run into. This is just a big section of aspen with some pine that borders it. I've found a lot of birds here in the past, but I usually don't hunt it till end of October, November time frame. But I'm going to give it a shot today, just kind of doing a little scouting as well, see what things look like and are shaping up for the year. And that's my goal, just kind of see what the area looks like, see if there's any birds around, and see if we can run into anything. Hopefully there's some woodcock in here. I've ran into a lot of woodcock as well in this spot as well. So hopefully there's some birds to play with this morning. Fox. There's a couple fresh sets of grouse tracks right here on the trail, and I know they're fresh because I drove in here last night and they're on top of my tracks. Fox is on point right in here. She just locked up. There's also a few sets of tracks on this trail here I've noticed as I've been walking down it. I see her. Alright, she's actually facing away from me, pointing back to the left. So I'm going to go back. There she is right there. she is, right there. I'm gonna cut in front of her. It's just pretty thick in here to get through. It's the only thing. It's gonna be tough. Knew that was coming. It's a woodcock. I do believe I missed, though. Been cutting down this dirt bike track on the edge of an aspen cut. Fox locked up on point. She's right there. I spotted the bird sitting on the ground. And I already started thinking to myself, don't mess this one up. And sure enough, I was behind it. It gets me every single time with a woodcock because they're always so close to you and you're like, I've got time to make the shot, but like literally in less than a blink of an eye, they're up in the canopy and just gone. Good girl. Well, that's gonna wrap up my walk for this morning. Ended up moving 3 woodcock and 1 grouse. Took a couple swings at misses at birds. Fox ran pretty good. She was excited to be back out there, and it's starting to warm up and get hot for the day, so I think I'm gonna call it for my little trip here for opening day, or the couple days after opening day. And I don't know when this warm weather is going to move out. The extended forecast for the next couple weeks all the way through the end of September looks just as warm as this, and dry too. So hopefully at some point in time it cools down, we get some cooler weather. Some rain would be nice, but outside of that I did find a few things that were pretty promising on my walk this morning. I think I came across 5 or 6 different sets of grouse tracks and a few feathers on the trails where the birds dusted themselves off at. So there's definitely birds in the area. I just didn't happen to cross paths with the birds at the right time. So there is some birds here. I'll probably be back here at this spot at some point to hunt. And like I said, that was one of the things I was hoping to find, was just some good sign in this area. And I think I found that. So we'll be back at some point. The best is yet to come. And I know I didn't get to put any birds in my vest to carry out, but I did want to take a few minutes to wrap up this video and talk to you guys about what I do carry in my vest, and also the why and the reason behind these things that I carry in my vest. So this is my vest. It's a Pike Wingman. In the back here, there's a zippered compartment. And in here, this is my little first aid kit for the field that I carry with me. In here, I have another bag. This is where I keep a lot of my padding, some of my medical wrap. I'll get into that in a second. Saline eye wash, so if a dog has seeds or debris in its eyes, I can flush their eyes out real quick. Super glue. I carry a couple things of super glue in my vest just because it's really easy to, if you have a decent sized wound on a dog that maybe needs to be stapled or sealed up, but you don't have a staple gun with you in the field, you can use super glue to close the wound and keep it shut while you make your way back to the truck where you can do further care on the wound. EMT gel. This stuff is awesome. I use this a lot if there's ever a wound on my dog. What it does is it helps stop the bleeding, and it also helps keep the wound clean from any dirt or debris getting inside the wound. It's just a thick gel that you would put into a wound. Like I said, it helps keep the wound clean and also helps stop bleeding and keep the wound intact. A bottle of ibuprofen for myself in case, I don't know, I roll an ankle or have a migraine headache or something while I'm out in the field. The last thing in here is another bag, and in here I carry just some Band-Aids for myself. Some antiseptic wipes in case I need to clean a wound off on myself or a dog, little cut, something like that. I carry a couple of these. This is a powder. It's called Wound Seal. If a dog has an injury where it's really bleeding, there's a lot of blood coming out and it's losing blood fast, I just pop this open, put the powder onto that wound, and it stops the bleeding instantly. I have used it a time or two. One time I had a dog that got punctured in its paw pad by a big thorn, and when I pulled that thorn out, blood just like instantly started gushing everywhere, and I couldn't get it to stop. So I took one of these, dumped the powder onto the wound, clotted it in there, and it instantly stopped bleeding. So that's what I carry in this little pouch. And in here, I have some vet wrap, casting pad, gauze pad, and then some packs of gauze itself. More antiseptic wipes, some medical tape, and then a lighter that I have wrapped with some duct tape. So if I ever needed to start an emergency fire or something like that, I could just light this, take a strip of tape off here and light that tape, get a fire going easily. Worst case scenario if I ever had to do that. So the idea behind these 4 items right here and how I would use them, let's say I had a dog that had a big wound on the side of its leg. First, I would try and stop the bleeding, and if it was bleeding bad enough, I'd have to use the wound stop powder to clot it or put EMT gel in it. And then I have some gauze pad where I would rip this open, soak up any blood, clean the wound if needed. And then this roll of gauze, I would wrap the wound in this gauze roll. And then I would take this casting pad and wrap it again to hold the gauze in place. And this also just acts as another barrier, another protectant, you know, more padding on the wound basically. And then I would take this vet wrap and wrap it real tight and secure it with this. Also, the medical tape comes into play here a little bit. If I needed to wrap the padding to keep it secure, I would use this. And then I would go on with the vet wrap. Or vice versa. You could do either or, potentially. So that's what I carry in my little first aid kit. Just kind of the essentials. Things that I would need in the field in case of an emergency, if a dog had a wound on it or something like that. And real quick too, I want to say one note about field kits, first aids, things like this. All this stuff is great to have, but these things can only be as good as your knowledge to use them. So over the years, I've never had to do any extreme emergency cases on my dogs, but I have become familiar with these things and how I would use them, and I know exactly how I would use them in a situation. So if you're putting together a first aid kit to take out in the woods with you, you know, grabbing a bunch of stuff and throwing it in there is great, but be sure you know how to use those things in your kit. So inside the pouch here, there's another compartment, and in there I carry a pair of cable cutters. So if I had a dog that would get caught in a snare or something, I could easily cut that snare and have the leverage and force to be able to cut through that cable. On the front waist belt here of the vest, there's a side compartment where I have a few things in, a zippered pouch on the side where I carry my phone at. And inside the other zippered pouch, I have a pair of hemostats. So I would use these to get foreign objects out of a dog. The biggest concerning one would be if the dog ran into a porcupine. I also have a little Leatherman multi-tool. Mainly I just carry it for the pliers. I have a knife on me already, so I'm not really carrying this for a blade, but just more if I needed extra torque or leverage to pull something out of a dog that the hemostats aren't getting the job done with. Carry a pack of lithium rechargeable batteries. These are for my GPS handheld unit in case the batteries in here die. I have an extra set. And then also a couple extra GoPro batteries in case my GoPro dies. I almost forgot, also in this back zippered compartment, I carry a leash in case I need to leash a dog out in the field. Let's say I have a dog that has a sprained ankle or a major injury, and I don't want the dog running off from me as I'm trying to get back to the truck. I can leash it up, and I know the dog's not going to go anywhere on me. And a pair of shooting gloves as well, in case my hands get cut up or cold. I just want to wear a pair of gloves. I carry those in my vest too. So that, in a nutshell, is everything that I carry in my vest. If there's anything you guys think that I'm missing that I should have in my vest, drop a comment down below, let me know. If you have any questions or any remarks on what I carry in my vest, let me know in the comments as well. I'd be happy to help you out. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up now. That's gonna be my first couple days of season here to start it off. Took some swings and misses at birds, didn't connect on anything, but still had a lot of fun. It's good to be back out here with the dogs, and as time goes on here over the next month or so, things are just going to get better. So good luck out there, be safe. Hope you guys are having a good time in the woods, and I'll see you guys back out here soon.